Welcome into another episode of the Power Hour. I am Steve, along with the urban sensation that is the Icon C Red. And joining us tonight is the hardest working man in Midwest independent wrestling, maybe all of wrestling. Half man, half amazing all day. You know him, you love him, and he's our favorite guest in his 9th visit to our shows. It is Marshe Rockett. Thanks for taking time for us tonight, Marshe.
Thanks for having me, boys. Always a pleasure. And wait a minute, before we get started, do I get a jacket for all these appearances?
You know, I was considering the fact that if this is like the SNL of wrestling podcasts, I probably do have to get you some kind of jacket. I don't think you can wear that jacket very often, but maybe we do owe you something.
I wanted like a track jacket or like a gold chain or something that just says 9th time is the charm or something like that. You know,
I'll come up with something.
Why do 9 when we know you're gonna be back at some point?
Well, I don't know. We got some issues tonight. We'll see if Marshe comes back after we're gonna go late.
Hour extraordinaire. I take that on a t-shirt or a jacket.
I'd like to have one of those t-shirts myself, I think. We're talking about how busy you are this month, and you are all over the place. And I count 5 shows, not counting what exploits you have on NWA Power. And you're fighting some very stiff competition. You ready? You feeling good to start a long November?
I'm sore as all get out, but I guess I'll have to get up and deliver what I always do, and still some shows, still some main events, but few stretches here and there, and nice massage or two. I think I'll be ready to go.
Marshe is he's got the confidence and the casual cool that we've come to expect. Brubaker, you will tussle with at CTW, not because the man is necessarily due a rematch, because you called him out. Yes. And I found that interesting. We've broadcast many shows, and many champions have won many titles over my tenure, but I've never seen a champion go through the grueling match you went through at Hello Pursuits and then grab the microphone and essentially call out your arch rival that has made your life very difficult for a long time. What made you want to call out Brubaker?
Well, it's very simple, Steve. I feel that in crash-tested wrestling, and I'm sure Red can attest to this, since its reemergence and since that fateful tournament to determine a new champion, if you will, I have the sense and I feel that every time I step into crash-tested wrestling, I step into the ring with competitors who would like to do this more behind my back. I feel like the times of, hey, talk your trash to the man's face if you got something to say has gone away, and it's become social media. It's become attacking a man from behind when he's not looking, when he's not focused in on you. I feel like that's been my time in all of crash-tested wrestling for the most part. And at this point, I am just completely sick of it. I'm completely sick of guys talking about that they're the best, that they want a shot at the world championship, but don't want to do it to my face, don't want to come at me man to man. And Brubaker is one of those competitors. And it shocks me that he does it, because I've known Brubaker for a long time now. And one thing I always assumed was that if Brubaker had a problem with you, he would come to you face to face. And he sort of did that when we had our whole little battle a few months back to determine the undisputed world champion, which, as you guys will attest to, I won. But then since then, Brubaker has been talking trash from afar. The Marshe this, and I'm better than you at that, and you're not the king, I'm the king, and all this hearsay and all this trash talking, from afar, when all that separates he and I stepping into the ring is nothing but air and opportunity. Well, there goes the air. So now I present the opportunity for Brubaker to step in the ring with me at Crash Givings and prove everything that he wants to type out and say, everything he wants to say on social media, everything he wants to tell everybody behind my back. If he's truly the king, then he can prove it at Crash Givens, beating me for the world championship. That's that simple.
That's pretty simple. You've left out all the doubt and you've answered the question. And for all of the people that watch this show, for all the people that we work with in various companies, for all the people I have heard Marshe Rockett provide insight and tutelage backstage about how to cut a promo, that's exactly it. I want you to record that, what he just did, and I want you to put that on playback, because the world of wrestling is a better place when people do what you just did. So that was very well done. Air an opportunity, and then he sucks the air out. And blam, there you go.
Air. So now there's the opportunity. So now he just has to prove it.
Brubaker is flexing his keyboard muscles, and Marshe Rockett is done with that.
I'm done with it.
But there's more. CSW.
Woof.
Second City Showdown. 9 other men. And not just any men. Cutler, Tupu, Blanco Loco, Jake from Wrestling, Jax Johnson, who gave you all you can handle last month, Garrison Creed, a man you've tussled with before, and a man that's pushing your limits. TJ Steele, tag team extraordinaire, now venturing into singles competition. I've been touting him as a champion potential for years. And then you got the Polish powerhouse, Mario Pardua. And let's top that all off with the legendary ice pick, Vic Capri. Man.
Wow. You really stacked them, didn't you, Steve?
That's a lot of people. Well, here's the thing. You do have the best of the best there, because the CSW title is special. It's extraordinary. And people who wear that title are not only the champion at the moment, but they're part of a rich legacy. So we've got Brubaker again and Jet Avalon that are competing for the title. One of them will win, one of them won't. And they will need a opponent in January when CSW returns. And the winner of this Ring of Destiny match, could it be Marshe Rockett? It could be. He seems to be pretty confident about it. But whoever wins this match comes back in January and gets the first title shot of 2022. Now, you talked about being involved in situations like this previously. I think it's important to hear about this, because I think these other guys, think that they may have your number. But is it true that in your past you fought 29 other men to get a title shot?
Right. Speak to
the Power Hour about that.
You remember this, Red? Remember the good as gold Rumble match where 30 men would compete, and and who would be the lone survivor to hold that briefcase to challenge for the world championship at any given time if they're choosing? Remember that, Red?
Yes, I do.
And you remember the year that I started at number one? First entrant in that bad boy.
The Heartbreak Rocket.
And felt like it. There was a lot of heartbreak going on in that ring, though. And the men coming out were no slouches. They were all top tier athletes. They were all candidates that could easily be a world champion. So talented. But I survived all 29 men to win that good as gold briefcase. And I'm sure they thought they had my number then too, just like I know that 9 of those men at CSW, as you just mentioned, Steve, think that they have mine. Now, I'm not going to say and sit here and say that, 2021 has been like cakewalk for me. As we know, I've had to deal with acid jazz and the, the stuff that we went through for most of the year, and all the opportunities he's cost me at becoming world champion. And then not to mention Joey the Jet, who beat me, not fairly, but he did get the 1, 2, 3 and earned his number one contendership.
He used the hoe, and I'm not talking about Sierra.
Yes. So, but I can't I can't gripe over that loss. I had to keep pushing and move forward. And then Jax Johnson, who, as many people have pointed out, and I will accept, he brought it to me. He wasn't no slouch. He certainly tried his best to ground this Rocket. So I give him all credit. But at the end of the day, it's not about skill level wise. It's about who can last the longest. And all of them have great endurance, but none of them are Marshe all day.
Saw that coming.
See?
Saw that coming.
So you already know what it is. This isn't me being cocky. This is just me spitting facts. This is just me telling it how it is. If you can find any other man that can go toe to toe with me and last longer, I would gladly like to see and hear their name. But been in this business a long time, and I have yet to come into contact with that individual.
Jax Johnson is an up-and-coming athlete. He is becoming a star. His stock is on the rise. But what you brought out of him in that match last month, I think you brought him to a level that I'd never seen. So that's testament to you, I think, in bringing the best out of everybody, whether it be somebody you're helping or somebody you're going up against, that you always seem to be able to bring out the best in anybody that you're in the ring with at all times.
Oh, absolutely. Because, that's how you're going to stay ready. That's how you're going to be able to compete inside these main event matchups by you're only pushed by the people that you wrestle. That's something I firmly believe in. I can only get better by wrestling people that are either as good or even better than me. But how can I know that unless I push them, poke and prod them to prove to me that they can step into the ring and go toe to toe with me? So the same way I have to level up, my opponents have to level up.
So we've got Brubaker at CTW. You've got 9 other guys at CSW. And then in what might be one of the biggest events of the year, the return of DWA to the Compass Arena in Willowbrook, you and your buddy here, the urban sensation that is C-Red, united as one, going up against the clown that is Yabo. Dangerous, unpredictable. C-Red, this is a match that you're going to be managing. Speak a little bit about what you see when Marshe goes up against the clown.
You just said it. He a clown. Ain't nobody scared of no clowns.
There are a lot of people scared of clowns. What are you talking about?
Well, all day, Marshe ain't scared of no clown.
Well,
And understand, we've danced this dance before. We've rode this road. We understand what's in front of us and the task at hand. So are we taking Yabo lightly? Not at all. But understand, when the night is done and all the popcorn, the silly string, whatever he got in his little pants, big shoes, when all said and done, 13 are going to be pointed to the ceiling, and his head is going to be looking at the ref going 1, 2, 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All day.
Couldn't have said it better.
I'm going to ask this
Couldn't have said
question.
it better.
Ask this question to both of you.
Okay.
Last year, DWA did spectacular work in Tinley Park. 800 fans came to a show that unified a multitude of promotions in what was history. And now here they are again, a year later or 2 years later, because we lost a year with COVID, and they're doing a similar thing. And this time you've got names like the LWF and JWA, different participants that are coming in, and this looks to be history part 2. And the first match announcement is you guys. How does that feel? Let that sink in for a minute. This is history, and the first name to carry the banner of history is All Day Marshe Rockett and his manager C Red versus Yabo the Clown. That's pretty darn cool. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when that news broke, I was already like, I'm always eternally grateful for like any opportunity that comes my way that, that allows me the platform to showcase to the entire world what it is I am capable of. And just by seeing that, and like you said, all of these are great promotions. All of them have extraordinary and tremendous talent. But for us to be featured first and foremost before anything, I think speaks volume as to people's expectations of us heading into this match. And as C Red just pointed out, it's not something that he and I are taking lightly. In fact, I've got training tonight that I'm going to go do and clanging and banging and put in that work, because as you've already stated, November is going to be a busy month. And again, not taking this lightly, I want to be prepared and in top form for anybody or anything that comes my way. And Yabo being as unpredictable as he is inside that square circle, I want to make sure that I am ready for whatever that clown wants to throw at me. So, to Yabo, I say this, I say best of luck. Can't wait till we reunite. But me and Red gonna whoop that ass. So,
Right, it's an honor to be chosen to be a part of a show like this. You have to be excited. I mean, you've been there, done that, seen it all. You've managed the greatest. I mean, you're managing the greatest. How do you feel about being a part of what is to be, for sure, a historic event?
First of all, it's an honor, like Marshe said, and I hope I'm not speaking too forthcoming, but Marshe and I represent the Windy City alumni. We are proud of where we came from. We've never shied away from that. So just to carry that banner is a huge honor. So, and we know all the guys that came before us and all the guys that came after us. So we're focused on Yabo, but we know we've got all our brothers from Windy City. We've got their support, their backing. So this one is gonna be for all of them, because at least for me, if there was no Windy City, then there would have been no Marshe Rockett to grab some little fat old man and drag him down the street and tell him don't quit, So it is what it is, and I treasure that. So we're gonna fight tooth and nail. Yabo is probably gonna have to try to kill both of us, literally, in order to get a victory. That's the only way I can see it happening.
Hard enough to fight clowns, let alone killer clowns. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
That's right. And you saw what happened to it. So
wow. Now we're Stephen King. So now it's getting deep. We touched a little bit at the beginning of the show about Crash Givings coming up a little later this month. Marshe Rockett up against Brubaker. I'd like to show, since Brubaker is the keyboard guy now, I'd like to take a moment to take Brubaker back to Hello Pursuits and something that you just don't see every day.
He looked hungry. You were trying to feed him.
Here it comes.
Service up.
Oh.
Trying to figure out what's the point, Steve? I mean,
that is something that you just don't see. A kitchen
right.
fight that ends with someone getting thrown out a goddamn window. So, Brubaker, you might want to bring an apron because we're in the same venue. That kitchen's going to be there. And maybe they'll have more than popcorn this time. So
that's right. I hope they have hot dogs and I hope they have slushies or something else. You know, who knows? Maybe I might serve Nick Brubaker a Kit Kat bar and make his ass take a break. I don't know. I don't know.
Suddenly he's gone from all day Marshe to Chef Marshe, and
That's
that
right.
is his kitchen. It's Top Chef. So that's fun. And then it was just told to me tonight that Marshe Rockett returns to Shabance this month for SCW.
That's right.
You're a superstar there. Your name is well known. You've been there many times, but you've been gone a minute. And
Yes.
since you've been gone, we have seen the rise of our current heavyweight champion, JPH. He has taken the best that SCW has thrown at him and dispatched them quickly. So you're coming in to fight a man that you know, but maybe you don't know. How do you feel about that? When you saw him before, he wasn't the champ. Now he's a whole different kind of cat.
You know, you're right. I've been gone from Southland Championship for a hot little minute. You know, thanks to like COVID and whatnot. Opportunities, sort of just went away of Southland. But as one star, basically descends, another one rises, right? And JPH has certainly lived up to the whole rising star monarcha. He's the world champion. He has proven. I've watched quite a few of his matches, and I got to say, I am highly impressed of the athlete that he has transformed himself into. And I am looking forward to stepping into the ring with this new top tier elitist. I hear the whispers in the locker room, and I hear how great he's become, and I think it's just going to. It's definitely going to give me a nice little challenge, which I'm more than ready for. But yeah, I mean, and it's for like the world championship. I mean, come on now, that Southland Championship world title is synonymous with Marshe Rockett, and I don't care who holds it. I don't care how good they are. I am most certainly going to do my best to make sure that championship comes home with me. Now, unfortunately, JPH, he's in the way, so I'm just going to have to remove him. But I'll give credit where credit is due. JPH, phenomenal athlete, cannot wait, but he's in the wrong place at the wrong time.
C-Red, we've had JPH on this very show. What do you think? He's someone you know well. Marshe's someone you know even better. What say you about this surprise announcement that we have been allowed to make? You haven't seen the flyers yet. Hasn't come out. It's not common knowledge. You're getting breaking news right here on the Power Hour. Marshe Rockett returns to Shabance, not only to return to Shabance, but to return to the title picture and gets a shot at the champ.
I mean, what you want me to say? I keep telling you. I've always told you. I don't have a problem with saying it here, and I don't have a problem just because we're friends. I use that word lightly nowadays. I can't use it with everybody clearly. Hello, Rage.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Bad blood there.
you never bet against Marshe. I'm just saying. I'm not taking nothing away from JPH. The young man, I know where he started. So to know where he started from and to know where he is now, first of all, totally different cat. I'm
Mhm.
telling y'all, if you've seen him then,
I've seen the
and then
video from then.
and then some kind of way you can see him now, you would swear up and down it was two different people. You would swear it's not the same guy.
I get my ass kicked every Thursday night by JPH, so
So
intimately familiar with how hard he hits.
So no, I'm not even talking about how hard he hits. I'm talking about just physical
Right.
appearance.
He's a beast.
Just looks totally different. And again, that's all because, and I like to say he took my advice. I told him, you want to take your game to the next level, you got to move on from where you are and step up. And he has done that. And not only has he put in the work, he has put in the miles over the road. So the guy has earned where he's at in Southland Championship Wrestling. But we got to remember, Steve, who was the big dog for the longest? Who was the Rockwaller sitting around in the yard chasing everybody and putting down everybody and digging holes and putting their bodies in the ground? It is none other. I'm gonna give him a Willie introduction. It is none other. It is none other than the urban idol, Mr. M80, all day Marshe Rockett. That's who ran SCW. So let's be honest. Yeah, we breaking it here first. Y'all go get your tickets now. But you know, if you're expecting JPH, Steve, to, because he beats on you on Thursdays, you expecting him to put the same beating on Marshe?
Well, you better be there in Shabance coming up this month. It's gonna be something to see. Marshe Rockett's been doing it a long time. JPH hasn't been doing it as long, but it's going to be a collision that you aren't going to want to miss. I'm very excited to call this match. It's going to be terrific. Red, you said something that caught my ear that I want to segue on just a little bit. You said you never bet against Marshe Rockett.
Okay.
And for my 8 years in this business, which is small in comparison to the gentleman I sit with here tonight, I acknowledge that. I've never bet against Marshe Rockett. I've been a fan, a supporter. He's done amazing things, and I've had the best seat in the house for many of them. And he's given me advice, and he's imparted wisdom to me. So he's like a mentor and a hero, as he is to many people that he works with. And you never bet against Marshe Rockett.
All right.
Until this Saturday night. Now, with all due respect, well, before I go there, I need to take our audience here.
For pizza and nefarious purposes, and Marshe Rockett wearing an Undertaker hat to the ring with the title in victory.
The hat stayed on.
Celebrating because Marshe Rockett is a hero. But tonight, he's a damn goat. And I do not mean the greatest of all time, and it pains me to say it. Marshe Rockett, you son of a bitch. This is highway robbery. You are better than this, sir.
Such hostile words.
I know, just disparaging my name, man. What, Steve? What the hell? Just
Hey, that's your beef with him, man.
call me a son of a bitch.
Right.
Just
Not a bitch, but a son of a
son
bitch.
of a bitch. Like,
Here's the thing, and I say this with all due respect. I have never seen what I saw at Darkness Falls. Darkness Falls very appropriately titled because darkness did fall. It fell hard. Your heroes sometimes let you down. And it was an amazing match. It was amazing. Both you and Shogun Chris Logan stopped time. You had people that couldn't sit down because they were so anticipating what was going on. You went to the bar and beat each other behind the bar. You beat each other outside, inside, everywhere there could be a beatdown in Joliet that night. There was. They almost took the fight to the damn Riverwalk. And it ended up with a hearse. And it ended up with a plumber's wrench.
Yeah, it did.
And I've heard you call yourself the victim. That you are not accountable for what's occurred and what you did to secure that title. And that story went back before COVID to finally conclude at Darkness Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there on commentary and I watched what happened. And then I watched you come in. And then after, if I'd have played that tape longer, watched what you were going to do to Chris Logan, who was clearly injured, clearly out of it, to make a statement. That's not the Marshe Rockett I know. That's not the Rockett that the bartenders know. Marshe Rockett will never be able to buy a drink at St. Joe's again. There were children crying. There were children in Joliet crying. Why, Marshe? Why? And I might as well consider myself one of those children. Why, Marshe? Why? And so I ask you, sir, why?
Well, before I answer that, Steve, hold on. I got to get my thinking cap on. Oh, woo. Oh. Oh. I just feel so much better hold of it.
Don't encourage him, Red.
It feels so good. Oh my God. So good. So
Why?
good.
Why not? He's the
Okay.
champ. The champ is here.
Woo. Ah. You just feel like it's like a warm weighted blanket. You know what I'm saying? Like you just like you put it on and you just instantly feel comfortable with it.
The champion
But,
has jokes.
Okay. Steve, I'm in a good mood, so I'm not going to let those remarks that you made against me and my name, and I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm certainly not going to let it put me in a mood. I will say this, sir. I'm kind of tired though of simply explaining myself and answering essentially the same question, the why. Why, Marshe? Why? Everybody wants to keep asking me. And I thought I made it clear the first time. But I guess I will give you the benefit, Steve, that you have not been at Rockett Pro long. So maybe you missed it. Okay, so here it is. You, management, Chris Logan, and the fans, you all want to know why. It's not rocket science, Steve. It really isn't. And I will say this much too. Everything that I'm about to say has been recorded, and you can check it. You can go back in time before COVID to one of the Rockett Pro shows and witness it yourself, okay? So here it is. How long have you been calling my matches, Steve?
8 years.
8 years. Red, how long have you known me?
Oh, 18,
More than 8 years.
19. we go way back. We
Okay. So taking all that into account, have either of you ever known me to act a certain way, say something certain, or do something out of character without a valid reason?
I
Nope.
haven't.
Nope. I'll
Okay.
answer honestly. No, I have not.
Okay, so be that as it may. So, Steve, as you so abundantly put, me acting like a son of a bitch, don't you think that there's some valid reason for that? You think I just woke up that morning and said, you know what? I'm just going to turn my back on my morals, my beliefs? You thought that that was the case? No, man. No, 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 no. This little thing, shall we say, between Chris Logan and I has gone way past that. Everybody keeps looking towards me and thinking that I'm the villain in this. No, I'm the victim. Me. I was the victim in that. Because going back, me and Chris Logan were involved in a #1 contenders match. This is before he became champion. This is even before I even had the opportunity. We were both fighting for that opportunity to wrestle, to become Rocket Pro champion. Okay. And it was one of our friendly contested bouts, back and forth, back and forth. He and I, we tore the house down. As you so adequately put, Steve, there was not an ass in the seat because they were so in tune to that epic battle. And it was just that. It was a battle, and a battle that Marshe Rockett was about to win. I was this close. I had him in my sights, dead to rights. Chris Logan was not going to win that match. But as the fates would have it, as I'm setting him up for my patented M80, Chris Logan shoves me. Now, call it for what it is, but the poor ref happened to be right behind me. Say it's bad position on his part or say what you want, but he shoves me, okay? Now, since everybody seems to think I'm the villain, he shoves me. And rather than just hurt the poor guy who's simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, I stopped. I stopped myself. 280 pounds, no less, is not easy to stop. But I stopped myself from hurting the ref and even checked on him. And again, I say this, if you don't believe me, go back and check the tape. It's clear as a bell. I stop myself. I make sure that the ref is okay. I even ask him, once he gives me the nod, I simply turn back to continue the match. And what was I met with, Steve? You know what I was met with?
I got a pretty good idea.
A super kick that kicked my damn head off. I was seeing stars all night. Chris Logan kicks my head off 2 seconds after I was checking to see the official. And he saw, Steve, Chris Logan saw that I wasn't, my head wasn't in the game. Now I ask you this, okay? We're friends, right? Would a friend do that? Would
Maybe
a
not.
friend who sees that he is checking on somebody else's well-being, would he kick somebody's head off to steal a victory, to steal an opportunity to become world champion?
Perhaps not.
And here's the part that you and nobody else knows about. This I will tell. So after Chris Logan gets the 1, 2, 3, we go backstage and I confront him about it. I asked Chris Logan, I said, Logan, what the hell is that? I check on the official and you kick my head off? And you know what he said to me? You know, it's the same thing that certain management of Rocket Pro told me. It was just business. It just ended up that way. Really? Really? It just ended up that way. That was his words to me. Not that he took ownership of it. Hey, my bad, man. You're right. that was foul play. You deserve to be number one contender. No, Logan didn't do that. Management certainly didn't make it right. And the fans, you know what they did? They cheered. They encouraged what Chris Logan did. So who's the villain here, Steve? Who's the villain?
Well,
Who is the one who got the knife stabbed in his back? Management didn't have it. I take that back. Certain management of Rocket Pro didn't have my back. Chris Logan, who has been my friend for a very long time, certainly didn't have my back. And the fans, Steve, the ones who are supposed to support me, the ones who have been there through thick and thin, didn't have my back. And Steve, if I may be so, with all due respect, at Darkness Falls, you really didn't have my back, did you?
No, I sure didn't. You're right about that. That's
you disparaged my name. In fact, I think I arrived in the arena and I gave you a wave. And you know what you did, Steve? You turned slightly, you acknowledged me from afar, but it wasn't a wave back. You just turned, you looked at me, and then you looked back, then you resumed your conversation. 8 years you've been calling my matches. 8 years. And that's the greeting that I get.
You know, you've interesting point.
I mean, I'm no rocket science here, but if that doesn't speak victim, I don't know what that.
I smell a conspiracy going on.
Do you now?
I mean,
well, you know what? I see where you're going. I see what you're doing. And I expected as much.
I understand.
I'm sure you do. I never thought for a second that you wouldn't have his back. I was dismayed, obviously, and said things that maybe a professional commentator shouldn't say. I make no apologies, but I can see why you'd say what you said. But you talk about the videotape footage that we can go back and watch. And you're the victim.
Yes.
You're the victim.
Yes, I'm the victim.
Okay, so explain this victimization to me.
I see nothing there, Steve. I see. Oh, wait. Got that ass. Yes, it did.
Good job. Some of your best work.
Oh, greatest hits. Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. Do it.
Oh, this is ratings right here. Look at that.
Oh,
I tell you, look at it. Just another victim, spoiling my celebration. Just, I can't win here, Red. I swear.
Clearly you can't.
I turn around. I can't have the celebration I want to have.
Were you celebrating or trying to kill a man? Because the lines are a little bit blurred based on that footage.
No, I wasn't trying to kill anybody.
Did the man's chair? There was a chair on the man's head, and Marshe Rockett was about to jump on that chair.
Steve,
hold on. How can you make that assumption? You don't know what was going to happen.
See the footage.
I just watched the footage, but did it happen?
Grin showed up and saved
it doesn't matter. Did it happen? Yes or no, Steve?
No,
did it happen?
It did not happen.
Therefore, you're making an assumption of what he was going to do. You can't make the assumption.
You gotta kill your competition. He said it.
You can't make the assumption. You can't.
Victim. I'm just the victim. Just
I understand. I understand.
Just the victim.
I understand.
I was celebrating. And my celebration got ruined.
You're celebrating by whipping a man's ass that was already had his ass whipped.
Hold on, Steve. Now you saw that match. You called that match. Okay.
I did.
Don't portray that man to be no saint. All right. You saw what how Chris Logan punished me in that match. Okay.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I didn't walk out of there just scot-free, just like with no injuries and certainly no marks left on me. Okay. I won't go into complete detail with it, but there happened to be some sort of unicorn contraption that was not used in the most friendliest of ways. All right, let's just leave it at that. Now, that being said, again, to my point, does Marshe Rockett do anything without valid reasoning? No. I do not. What you saw, what you demonstrated, what you showed in that clip, what I see is a man who has been driven to the point of madness. Yes, I said it, to the point of madness. Because here's the thing, when you have worked your ass off for the opportunity to prove that you are the best, and only to be slighted, not just by the competition, but by management and slighted by the fans. Steve, that does something to an athlete, okay? That does something up here. Everybody who has claimed that they loved and supported me, and go Marshe, go, where were they? On the side with Chris Logan laughing. Oh, you lost, Marshe. Guess better luck next time. And did I ever get a proper opportunity? No. What did management do? They decided to stack the deck a little bit more and a little bit more. Hell, when I won the #1 contendership, you know what they did, Steve? You know what they did?
What did they do?
Tried to put me in match after match, trying to get me to lose the #1. They stacked the card. You talk about 9 people. I swear I was facing 10 people every show because they didn't want me to be #1 contender. This went on for a long time, Steve. And when I tried diplomacy, that failed. So I do what I do best. Case in point.
Rockett, I might owe you an apology here.
No, ain't no might. You do.
You do.
I might owe you an apology.
Ain't no might. You do. and hold on, we talking about Rocket Pro or that other company? Because I swear.
For right now,
I thought you was talking about for me, but thank you, Marshe. But
we talking about Rocket Pro, but that's what I'm saying. And see, this is the thing: is that people still don't want to. They only want to talk about what they see. Nobody has seen it from my point of view.
I saw it.
Thank you, Red. You saw. He just played the clip. He played the clip of me getting ready to supposedly cause harm to Chris Logan. Chris Logan caused a lot more harm than I would have ever did with that chair.
No, what I saw was you celebrating, and all of a sudden, management allows Grin to just cut your celebration short. Like
exactly.
Like
who let that man into the building?
But answer me this, because I'm not there at Rocket Pro. Message.
We're working on it.
When Logan won the title, was his celebration cut?
No.
So all of a sudden, Chris Logan loses a title to Marshe Rockett, but Marshe's celebration is allowed to be cut and interrupted by who?
That would be Grin.
Grin of all people.
So
you see, they couldn't find suitable competitors to competition to take me out within the company. So they went outside the box, literally outside the box. You went and got a man out of retirement.
He was retired, right?
Out of retirement. He enjoying his rocking chair. He living the good life. You brought this man back as your plan B, just so you wouldn't see me with this. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, 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 indeed.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Steve?
I think I see something. I see something.
You see how you know the point of victim is being portrayed here?
I see overwhelmingly that I owe you an apology.
Yeah, you do.
And you know what, Steve? You're not the only one.
No.
You're not the only one. Management, Chris Logan, Grin, the fans, they all owe me an apology.
You know what you should do? You know what you should do, Marshe?
What?
Saturday, if I was you, I would roll into Joliet, right?
Right, okay.
And I wouldn't show up right until the show started. And then I would demand my apology right then and there. From the fans, from management. Steve, we don't want your apology now. We want it Saturday.
So you're gonna have Marshe Rockett come to my announce table and demand an apology?
No, because guess what? You can be heard. Trust me. We've heard you on commentary, so we can hear you from the ring. That's not an issue. And Marshe, at that point, if the people, management, Steve, if all of these people do not give the apology that you so rightly deserve, I would turn around and walk right out the door.
That's not a bad idea.
That is the worst advice I've ever heard a human give another human.
Bad idea. But you know what else, though? You know what else? Man, that's a good idea. But see, part of me wanted to go a different way. See, the only problem with that, though, Red, is that if I do that, I become everything that I hate right now in Rock and Roll. I become like management. I become like the Chris Logans and the fans who only want to see one viewpoint, though. That's the only flaw in it.
But at some point, they got to get a taste of their own medicine.
I know.
And maybe if you did that, then maybe they would have that come to Jesus moment, per se, where they say,
in a damn sure.
I see where Marshe is right and where we were wrong.
But you lived in the same world, Red. You know how these things work. Nobody ever apologizes. Nobody ever owns up to it, no matter how wrong they are, Steve.
Rage.
But the only way we can set and make a difference is by going the opposite way. And like I said, I knew after seeing all the posts you were putting up on Facebook, Steve, that you were going to come at me with the hard questions, but I wasn't going to let that ruin the night. I wasn't going to let that ruin the power out. Nope. I came in here with positivity, and that's how it's going to stay. And Saturday, I'm going to come with positivity too. And you know what? I invite you, Red. I invite you to the all-day celebration of Rocket Pro's newest world champion, Marshe Rockett. That's what I think that's what I want to do. I think
Let
I
me-
want to have balloons. I want to have drinks. I want to have cookies. I want to have cakes. I want my celebration. I don't want it to be cut off. I might even throw in a couple more surprises there. I got till Saturday to think of some more stuff off the top of my head, but that's what I
Marshe
want.
celebration.
That would be a start. That would be
Let-
a start of an apology for management. I want to see balloons. I want to start seeing some changes in my favor, not competition, not trying to strip me away from this or conspiracy, all that stuff. No, I want to be treated like the profound champion and face of Rocket Pro that I so rightfully deserve. Because this whole, it's ridiculous against me. It's ridiculous and uncalled for.
It's
I
ludicrous.
literally did nothing to cause any of this.
Nothing.
And again, I cannot stress this enough. Should there be any ears within listening distance of my voice that wants to call me a liar and say that none of what I am saying is true, I beg of you to go back and look at footage and watch how it all started. And
They
you will
won't.
see.
They won't.
You will see. The footage is right there. Stop looking with closed eyes and closed minds and start looking at the real issue at hand.
Are you suggesting we should free our minds?
And the rest will follow.
Is that what you're suggesting, Marshe Rockett?
And the rest will follow.
Call it what you want, Steve. Freeing minds. I see what you did there. Freeing minds, whatever. But again, victim, not villain, victim. But I tell you this Saturday, who's going to be the victim? It's Grin. Yes, he is. Yes,
Go get
he
him,
is.
Thanos. Go
Yes,
get him,
he
Thanos.
is, boy.
Thanos.
Where
Thanos.
my gauntlet at? Where
Oh
my
my
Infinity
God.
Gauntlet at, boy?
A bit ago, I tried to give you an apology, and I'm going to try it again. I do owe you an apology, but I'm not apologizing for thinking your victim theory is complete and utter bullshit. Not apologizing from that.
And
What
there
I
you have
am
it, Red.
apologizing for you is the point you made a little bit ago is what you've been through could make you mad. I think at Rocket Pro Wrestling, Marshe Rockett has gone mad. I think everything that's happened since then, right up to the point where you want milk and cookies in the ring and balloons, I think Marshe Rockett has gone mad.
I can't win. I cannot win.
Think that
Disrespect.
Grin needs to free your mind and bring you back. And I think maybe Grin can. So I think this Saturday night in Joliet at Rocket Pro Wrestling, when Marshe Rockett walks down that ramp, gets in that ring with all those cookies, all those balloons, with C-Red, with whoever comes out, every soul toucher there ever been, and you have the celebration of a lifetime. I think Grin comes down that ring right there with you, and maybe he is your salvation. Because I don't know who you are. Maybe I'm naive. It's been said many times, but the person I talked to tonight is not the person I've known for 8 years. And if he is, I'm not so sure that I want to know.
Well, then, Steve, I encourage you to do this. Before judging, you should seek out the truth. Because I just told you this.
Judge.
Don't sit there and hear what you want to hear. Because you're never going to like it. You're not going to like it. Period.
Some people don't like it when you tell the truth.
Right.
That's not wrong. That's actually pretty accurate. Sometimes
Now
the
you
truth
that,
hurts.
now see, I done told you this whole thing, right? You wanted to know the truth. You wanted to know why. I told you the why, and you still like management, probably like Chris Logan at this point, and like the fans. You want to take this, what I have worked my ass off to get. You want to see me lose this. My question to you is, why, Steve? Why? Because I did something that you didn't like. I did something that you didn't like. So I'm the one that has to change. I'm the one that needs to be punished.
That is a remarkably interesting point that I will ponder the rest of this week as we lead up to Harvest Havoc in Joliet this Saturday night. Tickets still available. Come to St. Joe's to see some of the great matches that are going to happen this Saturday night, including one of the most anticipated return matches in the last decade, Marshe Rockett versus Grin. Let's get past real quick all of my angst. And maybe I made this about me. Maybe that's unprofessional. And if that's the case and you feel that way, I apologize for that, because that's not what my point was. I would like to hear what you think after all these years going one-on-one with Grin one more time.
You know
It's
what?
history.
You know what? If it had come under better circumstances, I would be more thrilled to see Grin back into the ring. I really would. You know, again, I don't mean to bring up other promotions, but there was a promotion at one point where Grin and I tore the roof off the place. Standing ovation in front of thousands upon fans, watched us literally kill each other in a ladder match. Still being talked about to this day. One of the best ladder matches ever to come out of Joliet. This isn't me. This is the fans thing.
I've heard
I
those.
don't need to boast, and I'm sure you were there too, Steve. So you saw it firsthand.
I did.
What we can do, what the magic we create when we're in the ring, and it's friendly competition, and it's just two great athletes going out there battling it out for supremacy. I would love to sit here right now and say I am excited that Grin is back. I hope that he continues. I hope that, you know, maybe, who knows, maybe he can, you know, it's wrestling, you know, yeah, I'll never retire, you know. Maybe it's one of those things. I can't say for certain, but what I can say for certain is that Grin, as good as he thinks that he is, from where I was when I wrestled Grin back in the day, I am 10 times better. And
Now,
Grin
that
thinks
I
that
agree with. That I agree.
Grin thinks that he is stepping in with the same Marshe Rockett. Come on now. Come on now. I'm a different creature now than I was back then. Bigger, stronger, faster. Heavyweights that used to be bigger than me are now bowing down to me.
True. All true.
Battling the biggest and best that are seen on national television every week. And when they step into my little area, they got to take, whoa, well, who is this cat? They have to recognize real. Grin is no different. I don't care how much time you had off. He was sitting at home. Maybe he might have hit the gym a few times here and there. All day. 2 words. All day. That's what I've been doing. All day. You said it yourself. I'm the only man that's plugging 72 hours inside of 24. Who does that? Who does that? Nobody. Not Grin. Certainly not Logan. That's why I got this. He thinks that he can show up, one, and ruin my celebration, and then he thinks he can come up here on Saturday at Harvest Havoc and take from me what I have been already battling to get. Come on now. This is just another insulting way to just make me look like the victim. And I take nothing from this man. All what I say is nothing but it ain't disrespect. Grin is good. I love Grin. But you coming into my house and trying to take something from me that's rightfully mine. You ain't stealing nothing from me. Period. My celebration is going to begin the night, and it damn sure is going to end the night. All this freeing of the mind, the only mind that's going to be freed is Green's. When I kick him upside his head and send him back into retirement, back into the hospital bed, sitting next and laying up to Chris Logan. And they can both sit there and say, wow, he really was the victim, wasn't he? Guess we the villain. They can talk about it all day and they can check the clips. But this is staying with me, period.
I'm going to overlook the fact that that was one hell of a Chris Logan impression. I'm just going to brush right past that. It's certainly going to be one hell of a match this Saturday night. It's going to be one hell of a show. If you're around, come to Joliet. Rockett Pro, Marshe Rockett begins and ends the nights with celebration. So he says, Grin is going to be there. First time in a long time. The night will be electric, and we will see exactly if Marshe is a victim or if he's mad. Those questions will be answered this Saturday night. You've got an incredible month. And as you were talking, and you were talking about 72 hours and 24 that we were talking about earlier, you really do have your main event status is overflowing in the month of November. Championship matches, number one contender matches, championship rematches, historic matches where you're coming into a promotion that draws unlike any other. Your legend and your reputation speak for themselves. And what you do in that ring is something pretty darn spectacular. Of all those matches, C-Red, which one are you most excited to see?
The one with me in it, of course.
I should have seen that one coming. I just lobbed up the softball and he just does what he does. Marshe Rockett, how's NWA Power working for you? I see you doing electric things there. Are you loving your time there? Is the incredible Mr. C treating you well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny because, NWA has sort of like revamped not only my love for like the new modern day of wrestling, but it's taken my love for the old school feel kind of like to a new height as well. And this isn't just me because like, I'm as you said, I'm doing my things with Power. I get hit up with fans every week and they tell me just how great everybody, the talent that's stacked with Power. I get people want to view other promotions, and that's fine. It's wrestling. I think all of wrestling should be embraced. But I think for a lot of fans who stopped watching because they got tired of sort of seeing the same thing, NWA Power is a fresh take on what old school meeting new school and combining and creating just a whole new element. Something that like revives that old school feel inside the fans that grew up knowing the Nature Boys and the Arn Andersons and all those, the Dusty Rhodes and the Hard Times and all those greats. And to see rising stars come up and mix it up with these legends and create something new, man, that's special, dude. That's special. And I am eternally grateful to have the opportunity to be a part of something so special. You know, and it's just there's only one way to go for me, and that's up.
No doubt. And it's funny that listening to what you said right there about power. I've had the good fortune to interview Nick Aldis and Tim Storm. And if you play back those interviews, what you just said is exactly what they just said. And these are three of the best athletes that are working in this business today. That should tell you all you need to know and why you need to watch NWA Power, because it's a pretty great experience. And the best of the best go there to play, which I think is an important thing.
And not just of the men. I mean, Empower. Did you see that paper? Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, let me tell you, the boys in the back, the fans, none of us were in our seats. None of us. Those ladies killed it. Killed it. And they continue to do it every single week. Enough said, man. I mean, just NWA is the place to be, bro.
You got to go watch it.
It's got to watch it.
Got to watch it all day, so to speak, if you will.
Yes. No victims there. No victims there.
I'm going to pay for this for a long damn time. It's okay.
Just saying.
Marshe Rockett, as always, we appreciate your time. We know just by the list that you are wanted everywhere. And the fact that you keep coming back here means a great deal to me. And I know it means a great deal to your partner. C-Red, any final questions for Marshe Rockett before we let him go to the Church of Iron and get ready for one hell of a month?
No, I mean, he said everything that needed to be said. We have some similar mindsets, you know. You got, and I'm trying to figure out, where are you guys at Saturday?
Joliet. Rockett Pro Wrestling, Joliet.
Hold on, no. What's the name of the company?
Rockett Pro Wrestling.
Marshe, what's your last name?
Rockett.
So why are you trying to take the man? You named the company after him. Damn. Treat him as such. Treat him as the God that he is.
Victim.
I don't get it.
Victim.
I don't get it. But I understand your pain, Marshe. I truly do. Other management companies, clearly they're having a meeting, and I guess it's screw over the soul touches. You know, they trying to tarnish the legacy. I don't know what they doing, but
the victim, man. Like, I got to get in the boardroom or something. Like, something got changed. I don't know.
Consequences. That's all I'm gonna say. Consequences.
I keep trying diplomacy, but I swear it fails. I don't know what else to do. The council, man, like, just. I guess I just got to keep laying them out.
All I'm gonna say is, you know, I got your back, even though I won't be there Saturday.
Appreciate
it. So I'm not even worried about Grin. You know, I'm gonna look down the road and focus on the other clown. Why are we facing clowns all of a sudden?
And October just ended.
Right.
They weren't available.
There's no Pilgrim on a pole match.
They weren't available. They were just like, you free this month? Oh yeah, we'll do it.
They were too busy in October.
Lot to unpack with this episode. If you want to see Marshe Rockett other than on NWA Power, you have a unique opportunity if you are in this area. He's everywhere. Shabance, Hobart, Franklin Park, Joliet, Willowbrook. Marshe Rockett is all over the place over the next 30 days. Find your way to one of these events to see what this man does live. Because like it or not, he is arguably one of the best working today, and you will not be disappointed with what you see wherever you see him at, whether it's a 9-man, 10-man match in CSW, whether it's fighting the champ at SCW, re-challenging Brubaker in CTW, going up against clowns with C-Red at DWA, or taking on Grin at Rocket Pro. Marshe Rockett is going to go all month. Marshe Rockett, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for the 9th visit on this show. It really does mean the world to us.
Thanks for having me. I still want my track jacket. That would make a great apology too. You know,
I'm going to work on getting a track jacket. I feel like I owe you that much. Maybe it'll bring bring you back from the brink of the madness. But pretty soon we're going to be calling it the Rocket Hour.
That's as long as you don't make me the victim. That's I have no quarrels about it.
Shay, that might not be so bad. Just me and you.
Hey.
Just saying.
Oh, and the real conspiracy begins. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the urban sensation that is C-Red, and Marshe Rockett, Mr. All Day, Mr. M80, half man, half amazing, 6-tool talent in a 5-tool world. You know the drill, Marshe Rockett, and myself, Steve. We thank you for watching the Power Hour. And don't miss us next week as we are taking the Power Hour on the road to the Compass Arena for a little pre-DWA taping in which our guest will be Ivan Manson. So we'll see you next week at the Compass Arena. I'm Steve. That's Red. That's Marshe. We wish you a very pleasant evening. And don't forget, November is Marshe Rockett Appreciation Month. Come out and appreciate him. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.